Thanks to Ubisoft for providing me access to the game. The Crew MOTORFEST Season 3 drops tonight, so in this video I'm going to show you everything new that you can expect with this update. Let's go! Alright, real quick before I get into it, if you're looking for any of my MOTORFEST tunes, you can go to militiagamingco.com, head to the MOTORFEST Pro settings link at the top of the screen, and that'll take you to our tunes app. It has my tunes in it, a few of Rhino's and Acors, and a few others in the community. So there is a link in the description for that. Alright, let's get into it. So I'm breaking this video down into 3 sections. We're going to talk about content, we're going to talk about cars, and then we're going to talk about quality of life stuff. There are timestamps in the description for everything, so go to the place that is the most interesting to you. So let's talk content first. First up, we have a brand new playlist called Hollywood Action. This playlist features 9 new events, and the events are actually fun. If you did not see my full playthrough, that is live right now on the channel. You can go check that out. Again, there's a link in the description for that one. There's 9 brand new events, and they feature a couple of new things. So in the gameplay, you've got different things like a new modifier, you've got new gameplay mechanics, and you've got a new reward vehicle. Obviously, that comes with every single playlist that is released in this game. So here is the reward vehicle. It's the Aston Martin DB5. Again, you can check out my playthrough. At the very end of that, I go through all of the customization options for it as well. It's got some pretty insane customization, but that's what you get for winning this playlist, or completing it, I should say. All right, now let's talk about the new modifier. So there's a new modifier in the game called Dirty Driving. This is basically just crash into as many things as possible, and if you fill up your dirty driving bar on the right side of your screen, you actually will get extra money for doing the race. It's all about the money. It doesn't give you any extra XP or anything like that. It's literally just bucks. If you're trying to earn a bunch of money, you can just go through and wreck everything in your way, make sure your bar fills up, and you get the max amount of money for that race. Now, as you can see, this race is called Kyusha Spirit. This is one of the races I use for my test courses, and this race never had this modifier before, but now it does. You can actually do dirty driving on basically most of the events in the game. Now, obviously, in this particular one, there's not like a ton of things to break, so you probably wouldn't be able to achieve like that max amount of money, and you'd be better off going with the clean driving modifier. However, there are going to be certain races where there's, fences and things that you can wreck. You get a lot of dirty driving points for wrecking those really long fences, like the chain link ones or the wood ones. Each one of those little pieces counts towards your dirty driving. So anyway, you can actually do it on other events. So there's a track you like to grind for money, and you can maybe do this and get a little bit more money. Obviously, those things do slow you down, so you're gonna have to really maximize it. But I'm sure there's a method, particularly in scene 2 of this playlist, because this one has a lot of fences and things to crash. You could probably go through one of those long fences or 2 of them and have your bar completely full and then just race to the end. But those types of methods will be tested in the future. So anyways, that is the new modifier. The new gameplay mechanic is called the video lane. And now this is much like in the electric playlist, there's that lane that refills your nitro. This one actually refills your time. So you're on a timer. You have to finish before the timer runs out. And if you don't, then you're going to fail the event. However, if you're driving on the video lane, it's actually extending the amount of time. So you want to hit that video lane. It's obviously going along with the story of this playlist. You're basically in the correct place for the cameras. Like, you're in the spot where you're basically going to get the best shot. And so that refills your time, gives you more time to finish the event. I didn't have any trouble finishing the events, and the video lanes were, in basically the right spots in terms of where you want to drive on the courses, what the racing line is. So it's kind of nice. It just extends your time. Just a new mechanic. It's not like the biggest deal, but it's kind of nice to have it because it makes you focus on making sure your car is in a specific spot on the track. All right, as far as the side events and challenges, so we've got a total of 4 new feats. There's a slalom, a speed trap, a bullseye, and an escape. And then outside of that, we've got 5 new photo ops. These are only going to be able to get you like around 15,000, 22,000 bucks each time. But the big one is going to be the XP, because I think it's going to be more difficult to get your Explorer Timeline XP. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show you right here. This timeline right here is going to be one of the hardest timelines to fill up with XP, and I'll explain it a little bit later in the video when I talk about quality of life updates, because there's something in there that's going to change how you get XP for the Explorer Timeline. Anyways, that is it for the new playlist. It is definitely fun, and you should check out my full playthrough because I had a blast recording that. All right, let's move on to the Legacy main stage. So these 3 events right here where it says Legacy main stage year 1, these are the first 3 main stages from season 1. So this one, you're going to be able to earn the Ivory Tower IVT Falcon R1200R, which was the main stage reward for season 1. You just have to complete these events, which are basically summit events from the very first month of the game. You complete these 8 events and then you're rewarded with the IVT Falcon. Now the next one up is going to be month 2 of season 1, which you have the ability to earn the Lancer Evolution X Red Fury edition. Same situation, you complete these 8 events that are from the summits in month 2 and it'll get you that Lancer. And then the last one is month 3. You guessed it, this is the Pagani Huayra Rubicon edition, and it's the same situation, except for on this one there are 10 events instead of 8. So that's basically what's going to happen in the main stage legacy. Now let's talk about what it is going forward, because this is actually going to be important for those of you that don't really have like a lot of time playing the game. So the main stage cars can be found right up here on the current month. They're going to be on this legend track. In order to gain access to the legend track, you have to max out one of these timelines, and then the XP that you would gain on that maxed out timeline actually goes towards your legend track. And your legend track gives you a vehicle at level 3. It's basically given a vehicle every single month at level 3 every single time. Now that car can be earned through the main stage legacy 3 months after its initial introduction to the game, or when it was the main stage car. So that's basically what you're looking for. If you miss out on a main stage car, you can earn it 3 months after that. So because they've dropped all 3 of these at once here in month 1 of season 3, month 2 of season 3 is going to feature season 2 month 1 cars. Then month 3 of this season will give you month 2 of season 2. So that's how it's going to work. 3 months after the car was initially on the main stage, you'll be able to earn it here in the main stage legacy. I like this a lot. I think it really cuts down on the whole like FOMO problem that everybody complained about with the crew and the way it's designed. They're offering you ways to gain these cars right away. Now there still isn't a way to do that with summits, except for when a summit actually returns, but we haven't seen that, and it's not really been long enough in the game in MOTORFEST to see summits come back. I want to see new summits. I don't want to see old ones at this point. All right, and speaking of summits, so the summits are basically the same, but it seems like they're going to be upping the rewards just a little bit. For gold, in most of these summits, you're going to see a car of some sort. For platinum, you're going to see some sort of like epic vanity, basically something you would have to pay real money for otherwise if you were trying to get it. Now in this first one, you're looking at the Firebird Golden Wings edition and the Firebird Nitro. Now for the next one, you're going to get the Dodge Challenger RT for gold and the Cartoon Bang Nitro. And then for the last one of this month, and this is going to be consistent basically throughout the entire season, the last summit of the month is going to feature a premium reward, which is usually an exclusive car. I think always it's going to be an exclusive car, and this one is really cool. This is the Ivory Tower Asus Stealth Edition. So the regular base model Asus, something you can actually just buy in the store. The Stealth Edition, you have to earn it through this summit, and this one takes place March 27th through April 3rd. This is really dope. Now in this case, they switched the rewards because this is a really cool platinum reward. So obviously the car goes into platinum and the vanity goes for gold, and then you're getting bucks and spare parts for bronze and silver, but who cares about that stuff? Anyway, the gold and the platinum rewards are the ones you want to talk about, and that's basically going to be the rotation for all the summits going forward. All right, let's talk about the new cars for this season. All right, so before we get into the list itself, I have to tell you where the resources are. You can go look at this list by clicking the link in the description of this video. It shows all 27 cars they plan on adding to MOTORFEST in season 3. Some of these cars you can purchase in the store. Some of these cars are going to be import only from the Crew 2 until a certain date. This is a column that they have not added to their card list before, and I really love that they did, because this gives you all of the information you need. All of these cars are going to be buyable in the Crew 2 at some point, which I think we all assumed, but at this time they've now confirmed it. So this is something that's actually really good for the game, in my opinion. It means we know all of these cars you can purchase in the Crew MOTORFEST, and you do not have to play the Crew 2. However, if you want them right away, you can actually import them directly with your Crew 2 collection if you've already bought them in the Crew 2 or earn them in the Crew 2. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's talk about Street Tier 1. So in Street Tier 1, we're gonna have 5 cars added in season 3, the Aston Martin DB5, which is actually the playlist reward for the new playlist, the Honda Integra Type R, which is a year 1 pass car that we're not going to get until April 10th, and the 1969 Mini Cooper S, which is also a year 1 pass car that we'll get right when the season launches. This is also something you get to play with in the playlist as well, so there's another year 1 pass car for you. The 1948 Porsche 356, which is a collection import, available on March 13th in the shop, or you can import it. It's either or. The 1964 Porsche 911 Director's Cut Edition, that's also going to be available in the shop on March 13th. All right, moving into Street 2. All right, we got the 2022 Aston Martin DBS. This is a year 1 pass car as well. So year 1 pass holders will be able to access this on March 13th. Everyone else will be able to buy it in the shop on March 20th, which is just a week from the update releasing. Then we've got the Audi TTS Roadster. That's a collection import only until June 5th. That one you earn for doing the hobbies in the Crew 2 for, I believe, Mad Season 1. But you can actually just wait until June 5th and just buy this outright in MOTORFEST. Then we've got the Audi RSQ8, again, collection import. I believe that was a Summit reward in the Crew 2, but it is going to be purchasable in MOTORFEST on June 5th. And then the Audi R8 Spider MOTORFEST edition, and that's actually going to be in the welcome bundle. There's a bundle that'll be coming out on March 13th. That'll be purchasable, no big deal there. The Dodge Viper SRT10 Coupe Mad Edition, that's going to be collection import indefinitely. I think maybe eventually it'll be available in the shop, but at this point, they do not have a date when this car will be purchasable in the Crew MOTORFEST. The Land Rover Defender 110 V8, that's going to be collection import only until April 3rd. Then we've got the Lotus Emira. This is a year 1 pass car as well. This car will be available on June 10th in the TCM shop, which means a week before June 10th is when we'll get it, which will be the June year 1 pass drop. And we've got a special edition Nissan Skyline GTR. It's a 2002 GTR, so it's an R34. This is the Black Panther edition. Shout out to Black Panther. This is amazing. This car being in the game and being a Black Panther edition gives me the chills. This is something that's awesome. This is a collaboration with a content creator. He's got his edition of the car in the game. It's amazing. I literally gives me chills. I'm super happy for him. This is a huge achievement, and I hope you guys are as well. This will be a Summit reward vehicle. It even makes it that much more special because the car is like really limited, and it's just, ah man, I'm speechless. I'm super happy for him, man. That's so awesome. If you don't get it in the Summit, it looks like it'll be available on April 24th in the TCM shop. All right, then we got the 1972 911 Carrera RS 2.7, which is a collection import only until March 13th, which is right now when the update comes out in a day or so. And the same thing with the 1986 959 in Street 2. That's a collection import, but you can also just buy that in the store right away. Then we've got the Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT Basalt Edition. This is going to be collection import only. This was a reward for one of the previous summits in the Crew 2, and so they do not have a date for when it will be buyable in the Crew MOTORFEST. That is a very exclusive car. It's super cool looking, and I hope it's good in MOTORFEST, but we will have to see. And then we're getting a 2022 Toyota GR86. It'll be available in the shop on April 3rd. I'm pretty pumped on that one as well. I actually really love the body style of the GR86. It just looks good. And of course, the heritage of Toyota. All right, let's move into the hypercar category. We've got a few cars here. The Gordon Murray T50, which is a collection import only until April 3rd. That's when you'll be able to buy it in the MOTORFEST store. And then the Ivory Tower Asus, which is a brand new hypercar that they designed. It's not a real car. It's an Ivory Tower creation, and to be honest, man, it is awesome. I'm gonna have a video coming out tomorrow once the embargo on the content is up, and I'll have a completely detailed video on this car, and I'll have pro settings for you as well, so keep an eye out for that. That'll be available in the shop on March 13th, which is in a day or so. And then we've got the Ivory Tower Asus Stealth Edition, which is the Summit exclusive version of this car. That'll be available on March 27th in the shop, which is kind of strange to me. I don't think this will be actually available in the shop, so this graphic might be a little confusing. This car is a Summit reward for the end of March. I'm not really sure what that means, but they're saying it's available on the 27th. I think it'll actually just be a Summit reward. You won't be able to earn that in the store. So, and I think, to be honest with you, I said the same thing about the Black Panther Edition Nissan Skyline. I think that will be only available as the April Summit contest reward. So you won't be able to buy that in the store. You'll have to earn that in the Summit. And then the last hypercar they're adding is the W Motors Lycan Hypersport. It's a 2017, and it's a year one pass car for June. It'll be available on June 12th for everyone to purchase. but for the year one pass holders, they'll get it a week early. That'll be the first update of June. For the drift category, we're getting 2 new drift cars. One of them I'm really excited about. It's the Forsberg Racing Nissan Ultimaniac. Dude, I've been waiting for an Ultima to be added to a car game like this, and I just haven't got a chance to drive it. This is really dope. It's a year one pass car. It'll be available on May 8th for everyone, but a week before that for year one pass holders. And then we've got the Forsberg Racing Nissan Z Pro Drift, and that's the 2023 Pro Drift. That's amazing. I'm just super excited. Both of those cars are coming to the game. They're awesome looking. Anyways, moving on to the racing category, we're gonna get the Gordon Murray T50S, and that's gonna be collection import only until April 3rd. For rally, 2 amazing rally cars. Hopefully they're going to be good in TCM. We haven't got a chance to test them, but these are going to be collection import only until May 1st. We've got the Peugeot 205 T16 Evo 2. Amazing. I love these 80s rally cars. They're just so cool. And then the Renault Maxi 5 Turbo. Great cars in real life. Just amazing. I wish I could own one of these cars. Again, available May 1st for everyone, but you can actually collection import them as soon as you get them in TC2. All right, finally, a rally raid car, the Gladiator. I think they got the brand mixed up here. This is like the Jeep Gladiator, but maybe it's a Gladiator. I don't know. I'm not a Jeep guy. So is this a Jeep or is it not a Jeep? I thought it was, but it's saying Gladiator. You guys tell me. Anyways, it's a 2021 Gladiator. This will be available on the year one pass and available for everybody on April 10th. So if it's the April 10th version, let's see which one is the April 10th. This comes with the Integra Type R at the beginning of April, and oh man, I didn't even say how pumped I am for the Integra. That is a great car. It's iconic. It was so popular in the neighborhoods where I grew up. We saw a lot of these. I really wanted one, but I couldn't afford it, which is kind of weird because it is a Honda, but it is what it is. They were very sought after when I was growing up. Anyways, that is your 27 cars that are coming to MOTORFEST in Season 3. And if we look at the top of the article, it actually says, while this list isn't comprehensive, you may wonder why. It's because we aim to keep you pleasantly surprised throughout the season by introducing new vehicles and brands. That means we've got more than 27 cars coming to MOTORFEST in Season 3. They've got a bunch of surprises planned for us, which maybe means a mid-season playlist like we got in Season 2, and a playlist reward car for that as well. You just never know. You really never know. And I honestly don't know. Even though I've got early access to Season 3, I don't know. But we will find out together in time. All right, let's move on to quality of life. Now, this is not a boring section, so don't skip this. And don't click off the video, because there's a few things in here that are extremely awesome. And there's one thing that I find to be very repulsive. All right, let's start off with the one that everyone is talking about that was revealed a few days ago, but let's talk about it. Wheelmode. Now, Wheelmode has been implemented in a way to the game, but it's not exactly what you're thinking. So this is called direct mode, and there are 3 new settings that you can take advantage of in order to affect your steering in the game and your steering sensitivity, basically. So we have direct mode, which is an on-off switch. If you turn direct mode on, it's going to remove any steering filters, giving the player a one-to-one steering situation. I'm coming back to that because we need to talk about the differences between direct mode and wheel mode. The next setting is called sensitivity. Now, this is a steering sensitivity. All the way up puts you closer to that direct mode, but there is still a dead zone that can be felt, and there's a small delay in the steering. Now, that might be good for most people. In fact, after testing this myself, my position is that the majority of people are going to leave direct mode off, and they're just going to increase their steering sensitivity, and they might increase their dynamic wheel lock or decrease their dynamic max wheel lock, which I'll talk about in just a second. That seems to be a little bit more of a safe or more of a casual setting, is to just increase your sensitivity. The last setting is called dynamic max lock. This locks your wheel's maximum angle depending on your current speed. So for example, if you're traveling at high speeds, you don't really want the wheels to fully go to the right or to the left, because that would cause a lot of instability, and potentially you could spin out, and it'll make spinning out very, very easy if your max lock is very high. Without touching these settings, the game already does this. It locks your max angle at a certain level when you're traveling at high speeds. It's literally just to keep the car stable. That's it. It's to make it feel very, very stable. You're not going to crank your wheel all the way to the right going 240 miles an hour. It's just not going to happen. So to make it a little bit more realistic and a little bit more stable, they already lock it. Now you have the ability now to change that. You can go full lock at full speed if you'd like by reducing this slider all the way to the bottom. You can also increase it to make it even more restrained, which is going to give you a more stable feel, but it's going to limit your ability to turn at high speeds. So you're going to have to play with this and figure out where you want this setting, but that's basically what it does. Now let me touch on the wheel mode versus direct mode thing really quickly. If you have not seen Goliath's video, please go check that out. He explains everything. He talks about the wheel mode and direct mode thing. Here's what happens. So direct mode and wheel mode are different, but not the wheel mode and direct mode that you're seeing right now. Wheel mode from season 2 versus direct mode of season 3, there's a significant difference, and that is rear end grip. So with direct mode, you're not going to get the same type of rear end grip that you would have with wheel mode in season 2. They actually made a change to the way wheel steering works in the game in season 3, and this is not something that was in the patch notes. This is just something that we tested and figured out. Basically, Goliath tested it, Simji tested it, I tested it. They were on wheel mode, I was on a wheel. We all felt the same thing, and that is wheel steering on season 3 and wheel mode steering on season 3 is far less stable. The back end slides out really, really fast, and it feels almost identical to direct mode. They are very, very similar. So now the situation we have is maybe even more fair than I thought it would be with the addition of this setting. Controller players with access to direct mode and the skill to drive it fast, and wheel players with the ability to drive the car with 180 degrees of rotation, which is very difficult, are very close now in terms of the skill ceiling. It's very, very similar. I think this brings wheel and controller players closer than they've ever been. Now we might have a few wheel players that might be upset because, well, their cars are going to be a little bit more unstable. However, that's exactly how it should feel when you turn your wheel like crazy at a high speed. So I think this is going to be the most fair situation. Now, this is probably not going to be the end of this conversation because IVT is willing to hear the feedback and what people feel over the course of season 3, and they're going to make adjustments. If there's adjustments that are necessary, or if the community wants something different, they're willing to bring it to you. So that's as much as I want to talk about it right now. I strongly suggest you go watch Goliath's video. It's linked in the description as well. All right, let's move on to the next quality of life update, and that is customization. This is a small one, but it's kind of neat. They added 2 color options for the official color options. So if you look at this one, you've got basically one for the main color, which is the top one, and then one for like the trim or the secondary color. This is cool, but it only works for the official color options. You can't actually change these yourself. The second you go into like a custom color, it changes the color of both of those things on the car. But it is really neat to have these sort of official color options with like the trim being a different color. I like that. All right, this next one is actually really cool. It's definitely going to help in various situations within the game, especially just simply trying to find your car. It now has garage sorting options, and they talked about this a couple of days ago, but basically you have the ability to sort the order of your garage, which we really didn't have before. You can now sort it by category. You can sort it by mileage on the car. So like the cars you drive the most, those will appear in the front. If you're in the grand races, you're picking out your car, you can sort it by mileage. All your favorite cars are going to be in the front. You can also sort it by the brand of the car and the year, and basically it allows you to select the brand vertically as opposed to just scrolling through all of your Street 1 cars trying to find the car that you're looking for. You just sort it by brand and then go right to the one you want. They're all alphabetical. This is actually a really nice quality of life update. The next one is called multi-scrapping. Multi-scrapping is, oh my god, please, this should have been in the game from the beginning, but it's just so good now. I'm so glad to have it. You basically can go into your parts inventory and scrap all your blue, all your green, and all of your pink parts, just all with one fell swoop. Scrap everything. It's so fast. It's awesome. I'm so excited that it's in the game because I have so many parts to scrap all the time. So multi-scrapping is a thing, and it works really, really well. Now, you can't multi-scrap any of your legendaries. You actually have to scrap your legendaries one by one. And remember, in the mailbox, we also have sort of a multi-scrapping option. You can just scrap it by rarity as well. And speaking of parts, let's talk about affixing your parts. This is something I've harped on them before about. I absolutely hate the affix system of re-affixing your parts, trying to get the right affix for your parts. Well, they did make a small but very good significant step in the right direction. They made the affixing instant. Check out how fast it is now. Yeah, it's awesome, dude. You can affix things so fast now. You don't have to sit there for 25 minutes trying to figure out the correct affix for your parts. It's still RNG, which bugs me, but it is really fast and I'm okay with that for now. And lastly, and this is the one that I'm very upset about because I just don't feel like this is the right solution. And to be honest with you, I don't know that IVT actually feels like this is the right solution either. It seems like this might be a band-aid for the time being, but basically, if you've been following the game, you know that people are using macros to get a crazy amounts of XP every single month, and they're doing it by not even playing the game. Their computer just runs the script that just presses the same buttons over and over again, and they run through a speed trap or an escape or whatever, and their car is just doing it automatically while they're at the gym or, you know, wherever else. I'm not sure. But basically, IVT was trying to stop this, and so they put timers on all the feats. Literally all the feats. If you go do a feat, you do it once, you get your rewards. You cannot get those rewards again for 30 minutes. It's a long time, dude. 30 minutes is way too long. Now, this affects two different things that really bug me. Number one, the parts grind. The parts grind used to be okay if you could go through an escape, rewind, go back, do the escape again, and if you wanted to sit there for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, you could get all your legendary parts for a specific category by doing this. Now you can't. You only get one reward every 30 minutes. So doing it once is as much as you can do, and that's really not going to help you. So feats grinding is gone. Now, in addition to that, it really affects the way you get your Explorer XP. I talked about this earlier in the video. Now, when you're looking at your main stage and you're trying to level up your main stage Explorer timeline because you want Big Johnny's suit here, you actually have to do all of the different feats instead of just one, and that is super annoying. Now, you could also search for treasure, and I think treasure is actually going to be the thing that most people do. So if you need a treasure map, we have it in our Discord. There's a link again. You go to the Militia Gaming Co website, there's a link to the Discord there. But basically, you look at the map, look where the treasure is, you zoom out on your map, and just zoom into the spot where the treasure should be, and if it's there, fast travel to something nearby and go get it. This still takes a lot of time. Finding the treasure is not super fast. I imagine over time people will know where all the locations are by heart and they'll be able to do it quicker, but it's still just not fun. To level this explore timeline, we need more options. We need more things that we can do to explore the island, which is fairly small at this point, to level this thing up, or just make the XP grind for this not so high. Like, we don't need it to be super crazy. There's not a lot of exploring being done in month 7 of the game. This is just, I don't know. We need to figure out something else. If you're gonna block the macros by putting a timer on it like this, which probably will work. I mean, they're gonna figure out some other way to do this, but this will probably work for the time being. I just think you need to figure out a better system for blocking those, but allowing players to grind the game the way they want to grind it, because the game is really, really grindy when it comes to the parts. So I don't know, man. This is going to be a point of frustration, even though XP leaderboards might be fixed. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I know it was a long one, and if you stuck through to the end, you're an absolute all-star. If you don't mind, leave a like on the video, and if you're not subscribed, please do. I put out MOTORFEST content basically every single day, so if that's something you're interested in, please do. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll catch you on the next one. Trigger out.